Ladies and gentlemen, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
This is Rangaroo, hello.
And folks, today on that beautifully difficult map of Siedlce, who do we have, sir?
Left hand side in the blue, we have Stahlbrecher playing GrossDeutschland with Maverick income. Right hand side in red, we have Daiene and Marie playing second guard Tankovy, also with a Maverick income.
Well, we are seeing the kind of smoke mortar play that we haven't seen in a hot second. Usually it's like, oh yes, time to bring out Mozzies. But apparently bugs don't live particularly well here. But what does live well is those 82 mil stovepipes, which, well, I feel like you come on this bottom side. It's a low percentage opening that we see, but it's still fun enough. You kind of really allow your troops to get in there and get some really good positions.
Yeah, and it's also a very easy area to smoke because it's just a single opening in the choke point. And it's pretty safe play, allows him to get his infantry into a very aggressive position here. And usually down south, if you can fully shut down the forest from the red side, you're in a very good position to just hold that area for the entirety of the match without too much hassle.
Indeed. Now we're watching, though, as a Pioneer Fuhrer with the pack track just dives on forward. Unfortunately, that pack track is going to be less useful than a less useful thing, as really he's going to have a T-34-85 to kind of deal with, and tons of infantry, which he cannot shoot at. So
no, he's just going to drive right through him, because why not?
Well, that's why not. That's why not indeed. But Sturmgruppe down here against all those Papashas, this is one of the few times I feel like the Sturmgruppe, even disregarding the numbers issue, just does not particularly do well is in these trees.
Yeah, this is honestly a fantastic use of like speed, violence, and momentum here from Daiene. I said it the first time correctly, right?
Probably. Let's call it DTM. How about that?
DTM. There we go. That's much better. We just do the American thing and make everything like an abbreviation.
Okay. I'd actually.
That wasn't meant to be an intro. It's just like, CIA, ATF, FBI. It's like everything's an abbreviation.
Man, trust me, as an American, I'm well aware of the patent flaws of my country. Ugh. Just like the flaws of the P-38T down there, going down to the T-34-85. But alphabet soup aside, down south is a Soviet position. Up north, I would argue, is going to be a Soviet position. It's really only here in the center that's not actively Soviet just yet.
Yeah, we're seeing Stahl making a decent push here. He's got the Stag in the town. He's got his pioneers backing him up. He has a good assault force here. But always pushing the center in this map is a scary proposition because you're literally in the bowl. And that bowl has lots of sharp angles where you can get shot at from anti-tank guns. Fortunately, not a whole lot of anti-tank guns currently. So one's is free, but there's potential for more of anti-tank.
That's true, Mr. Frodo, and there are dead things in the water, too, so you have to kind of watch out for them. Though, this is one of the few maps where you could, in fact, take things like Schwimmenwagens and, well, basically those double D tanks and really have them kind of come in a position that you're not used to seeing. Kind of like an IL-2 dropping bombs all across that town fight and really kind of stop-gapping a lot of that push.
Again, some decent hits on the Pioneer here. But you should pretty clearly go to Stahlbrecher. He just needs to deal with his couple infantry squads. So I guess the question is, does he try to push all the way up through the town? Because that's... He can do that. There's not a whole lot here to currently stop him. But it leaves you exposed quite a lot through very narrow frontage with no bloody cover.
I don't know. If this is me at this point, I take infantry. If that Sturmgruppe survives, I stick him to the southeast of the town, to that T intersection where that T-34-85 is being called in. And have him as kind of like that early warning device. And everything else moves northeast. Put a little bit of light AT and some strong AI over there. That's anti-infantry, by the way, not artificial intelligence. And keep that locked down at least for an instant or two. And then try to push elsewhere.
Yeah, just try to buy some time. Up north, T-34 is actually making some good maneuvers here. And DTM's in a pretty nice little position with his Saparis and after Machiki's really playing to the advantage of his division with all of these CQC troops. So he just needs to defend the northern side for enough time. Well, apart from that 1-2-5 run, which is causing a bit of hassle.
kind of amusing is when watching the Stu-42 engage that T-34. Just because it's like, yes, I have a howitzer, and I'm going to attempt to kill you.
Yeah, it's going to be dropping some heat quite shortly.
Oh, wow. He actually does... That was unexpected.
Yeah, you could say it was a heat-seeking shell.
You can say a lot of things about it. I'm not sure I'd call it a heat-seeking shell, but I would definitely say it was a good shot nonetheless. But Stahlbrecher, in the meantime, does get himself that 1410. I don't know that he's going to get that 15th flag. I'm trying to see where he might try to pick that up. Yeah, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit difficult. Well, he's trying to do something up north here. And if he's slamming Worth and as the Aftermachikis should maybe hold him off. It's not enough of a substantial force.
Well, the Superiors as well coming on up. Yeah, that's more than enough to chase him away. Oh, you were talking about the GD Flammenwerfer up to the north.
Yeah.
Got you. Yeah, sorry. When you have a 1-to-5 attacking ratio, that's not really the numbers you want. If it was 5-to-1, yeah, that's one thing. But 1-to-5, not so bueno.
Yeah. Oh, we're seeing a Panther now being dropped into the center here, so it seems that Stahlbrecher is going to be very committed of trying to make his central push happen. I wonder if he really... I don't know, maybe his best bet is to just keep pushing eastward, try to get through the flag with the T-34 85 is, but at the same time, I don't like that push either. It's just, unless you can win the southern side, or at least a bit of northern side, one of the sides of the bloody bowl, you don't really want to push any further in his current position.
Well, isn't that the issue, too, is if you really take a look at this, you are not going to get the southern side of the bowl. That salad down there belongs purely to the Soviets. There's a 37mm pop gun, there's a tank, there's this, there's that. There's so much junk down here that, well, you think it was a Chinese naval fleet.
True.
And that town breakout, well, that's not happening any longer. No. The Kamrati, the 1944 variants, stuff like that, yeah, that's not happening anymore. So, I don't know, DTM, I think, has closed off Stahlbrecher quite easily here. And I don't really know how Stahlbrecher is going to break out of this. He doesn't have the Air Force for it, for nothing else.
Yeah, South is pretty much gone. There's no way he's getting back in there. Central position is getting mopped up quite quickly. I guess for Stahlbrecher, he still has that 13-11. We've got to give him that. He needs to make something happen up north. But at the same time, he needs some infantry to start clearing through the forest. And he doesn't have a whole lot of infantry. He has good infantry for it, because it's a lot of light forest area, which really is beneficial to the Sturmgruppers. It's
beneficial, yes, but when the Automachiki squads can pretty much defang a lot of your pushes, even if they lose them, I don't know. I have mixed feelings of this right about now. Now,
it's just
kind of sprawling out in the sunshine.
Yeah. Same time, I was taking some... Is that smoke or is that HE shots? Yeah, it's taking HE, which is not going to do bloody anything.
That half track, on the other hand, not able to, really deal with that more pointed argument from the IS-2 and the T-34-85. I must have thinking about Tuesday over here. My apologies. A couple of those strange pack tracks up north. Not the Pinocchio tracks that I want to be seeing here, but nonetheless, short barrel 75 mils coming in to kind of maybe get some light anti-infantry, anti-positions. And it's not going to do much, I will tell you that.
Yeah, he just needs more infantry up north. I guess it's really going to come down to B phases. That's when he gets his big injection of troops, some more Sturmgruppers and Sturm Pioneers. And really, his northern side is his best bet to try to continue any more aggressive action.
Well, he's bringing another Panther down to the south, so I'm not sure he heard you on that one, unfortunately.
Wow, that's actually quite a heavy investment, because that run Panther should be more than enough. There's no IS-2s in the deck. IS-2s can be scary, but you do have the advantage against them at long range. So maybe it's just going to try to plow his way right through the center.
I think what we have going on here is he actually wants to take that forest back. But if that's the case, he's going about it in kind of the wrong way. I say kind of the wrong way. I mean, completely and utterly the wrong way. To me, if you use that hilltop for anything, it's to put fire down in the eastern part of that town where your troops are completely and totally stuck. You don't sit at the bottom of the ridgeline.
Yeah.
But I say that having God vision in 2020. So,
up north, there we go. There's the injection of infantry we need. And actually, a lot of the flamethrower troops getting in sticky. Actually, getting some good damage in the Avatos.
I'm surprised they're doing as much damage as they are. I really am.
Flamethrower's a hell of a drug.
Yes, it is. Just like your love, sir. Just like your love. Of course. Now, that pack track is... Wow. That was a very big surprise.
Yeah. Actually, getting that good alpha damage here, he needs something more substantial now to hold it, because he's kind of, raw or shown DTM, hey, I'm making a big push up north, and DTM's going, okay, well, here's a platoon of Soviet troops and a tank.
Yeah, and, while it's great that you have the plucky thought process of 3 dudes with Zippo lighters on their back to hold the line, yeah, that's not... flamethrowers are aggressive troops. It's not very often that someone's like, yes, I'm going to hold this position by strapping a giant fuel bomb to my back.
Yeah, and I'll burn anyone who gets close to me. And then I'll just shoot you at 300 meters with a bolt-action rifle. And then you blow up.
Exactly. I've played that Call of Duty level many times.
Yes, yes.
Panthers down to the south, by the way, engage in T-34 Camerati, and the mortars in the meantime, proving that 1 millimeter does matter, are trying to engage those Panthers and push them back to just sheer, fear. Maybe that's the best way to put it. Fear. And, well, one of them is looking a little bit worse the wear, not because of the effect really so much of the mortars, but just the long kind of built-out fight between him and the T-34s.
Yeah, it's a very, cocky position with the Panthers. He's getting him quite up close, and once again, not a whole lot of cover. If there's some more sneaky anti-tank gunplay, there's a potential of him even getting side-shotted from the southern hill position a bit. So he's pretty fortunate in that regard. Because, yeah, he's still making this northern push happen. And honestly, yeah, it's not looking great for DTM up north. A lot of his troops are pretty damn spread out. He does have a decent force in the more northern areas here, so it'd be curious to see if Stahlbrecher kind of realizes that the, south of the main road up north is really his best angle of attack, because you can really just mop up that entire area if you can clear that entire, forest position on the hill.
Well, we are seeing the far north. Pack track did go down, and I think we're going to see dead Flammenwerfer troops very soon. IL-2 comes right back in and drops long. Which, well, that's a bit of a problem, because that's a second IL-2 that's been brought down by those brave 190 pilots. That's probably more IL-2s that have died in this match than the last, probably 40 or 50 sorties that we've watched overall from an IL-2.
I know, right? It's kind of rare to see him actually go down for a change.
I legitimately, there's a piece of me that kind of, when I see them on the map, I think to myself, oh, okay, he's in and out.
Yeah. The fucker wolf goes down, no. The final shot.
From the 37 mil?
Yeah, it's max range, final shot. Probably headshots the pilot. Bloody good shot, yeah.
I was watching to the northern side of the Stromhaubitze is firing on the guards in the forest. And the P-Grans of the Panzerfiles, so yeah, these guys are outmatched quite a bit just in terms of raw numbers. And it's kind of funny to watch the ZIS-3 somehow not kill a Stromhaubitze.
Yeah, he had a pretty decent chance, and the ZIS-2, yeah, unfortunately, just does not have the greatest line of sight with that farm complex blocking him. Grum, the Stern Pioneers getting in close, but they're going to have to brave some machine gun fire.
Well, it seems like they're ready to do it, ready and willing to do it, if nothing else, as, the flames, the fire and flames, they carry on, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
And they carry hot.
ISU, in the meantime, takes out the Stu-42, but the Sturm Pioneer, well, that ZIS-2 was not long for this world.
Nope. And that's going to be a pretty great push here from Stahlbrecher. Exactly what he needs to do, just push around this area. He doesn't have a whole lot of fire support to back up his infantry push yet, like an anti-tank gun or two, or a tankinet forest. Could probably do some pretty good work getting some side shots on the T-34 and ISU.
Well, I have to note, I think one of the Panthers went down. He's actually in the town to the south. Couldn't tell you what killed him, but if I had to guess, it's probably the Su-85 or that ISU.
Yeah, which kind of probably a good idea for Stahlbrecher not to move his Panthers out aggressively. He did get another one, the leader one, in the center, and another one actually up north. He's got 3 bloody Panthers on the map, and the northern run is probably going to have the most impact here, because now I don't want to call it a highway, but the main road up north is mostly pretty clear. You slap a Panther down on you engage those ISUs at max range, you're going to have a pretty good time.
That certainly is possible, anyway. PE2 coming back in to obliterate that, well, that position. So, 2,000 pounds of high explosive later, I imagine we'll see a pretty smoking corpse or two. Yes, we do.
They are big kaboom, you could say.
They are very big kaboom. And the other Focke-Wulf, the other 190, the other proud champion of Luftwaffe might in this match, is, well, he's got the landing things a little rough for him. Flying was pretty okay, but that landing, that was a problem.
Yeah, it's like flight lessons.
Exactly, it's kind of like the kamikaze pilots, never given a whole lot of landing lessons.
Yeah.
To be fair, I found out those guys were doped to the gills too, so kind of justifiable either way.
A little bit of nationalism goes a long way as well.
So does sake. Down south, this is actually the kind of interesting part for me. I thought that this would stand inviolate. This is, nothing would get through here. This would be a Soviet position for the all time and eternity. I wouldn't have expected Stokes to be the things to kind of be supporting this. This would have been where I put the Stu-42.
Yeah, it's actually not a terrible idea. I think he is going to try to go the full Monty and get back into the forest position. Even just securing the road just to keep that flag under control is more than enough.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, not having a lot of anti-tank guns, in this forest to zone out your Stug Freeze is really giving Stahlbrecher the positional advantage here, because he can just use his Stugs to clear out the edge of the forest, allowing his infantry to then come on through. And bro, they're pretty good with those flamethrowers, Khan.
Yes, they are. The funny thing is, I'm not entirely sure why he would have been stripping here, but you said he's going the full Monty, and I think he is trying to bear it for everybody to see.
Yes, he is.
Unfortunately for him, I'm really noticing the troops that are here. This isn't just Ognamachikis galore. This is 3 squads of Superiors and an Ognamachiki who is very damaged for sure. He went down here, but he's, again, defanged that first push.
Yeah, the Superiors have taken a decent amount of casualties, so they're not at full effectiveness, and the S-35 is going to have to do some pretty good work here if you want to beat out those Stugs, which I don't think is going to happen. Even at 3 stars, good God.
He killed one of the shooters already, though, too, so...
Yeah.
So he does trade 1 for 1.
Buys him a little bit of time here, and the Superiors as well going to be buying time as Stahlbrecher's infantry kind of get picked off one by one as they're out-positioned.
Well, the kind of funny thing about this, too, is we are going to see 2 P-38Ts being brought on in before more infantry does. We're going to throw the checks in there and kind of say, you know what, balance this. Now, they should be able to, but the problem behind this is still that your line of retreat is meager at best. And, the P-38T has never really been known for its firepower.
Mm-hmm. And then up north, actually, we actually got a pretty decent push being built up here from DTM. Got a decent amount of tanks, which are starting to engage, and a lot of infantry as well, because Stahlbrecher's forces have taken some pretty heavy attrition here. So if he plays his cards right, he could probably do a pretty good job of getting back into kind of like the starting positions of the map, where he had most of the hill under his control.
Well, it's going to go even better for him if he continues to take out those anti-tank guns before they get set up. One of them is still on the map, but I would not suggest that it's going to go particularly well.
No, and there's pretty much a choo-choo train of Superiors and Avtomachikis with nothing to stop him. I wonder if he's going to just go the full distance here, or if he's going to play it a bit more conservatively, because he doesn't know there's nothing really in front of him.
I think he's going for distance. You see him right now, he's going for speed. Is that another IL-2 strike down south? So here's what I was talking about. So the P-38s have gotten to the front lines. PE-2 is coming on, and this is going to be the death of that southern force. This is absolutely going to be the death of that southern force. If the Stug isn't dead, he's going to be dead soon enough whenever there is one tank that decides to stir itself into motion down south.
But that's kind of the problem, Yokan. There is no tank fire support because everything's been brought up north for the offensive. So there is actually a chance here for Stahlbrecher to penetrate through. The superiors are giving him a bloody hard time.
Well, and here's the next bombing run. 1,000 kilograms, all for that. Actually, is it the P-38 or is it the Stug? Well, somehow missed just shy of the Stug.
Yeah, a little bit long, yeah. And the P-38's now going to get out into the open. No anti-tank to stop him. So they're going to be able to clear the way for the rest of the force. And if you look up north, it has gotten very red very quickly. He went the distance, and he's got it back to a nice 12 trophy, because they're also into sea phase. But he is mopping up the north quite quickly.
Kind of weird idea when I'm thinking about this isn't the fact that we have these PE2s that are just kind of obliterating these positions one by one, is we have these Su-85s that have been brought in and around consistently, like in the central part of the map. And we're not seeing specifically, how do I put this? We're not seeing them being effectual and kind of really pushing the front lines. They're there, yeah, but they're doing things like picking off a grill that had no ammo.
Yeah, just being a bit more defensive. It's kind of like zoning out the hill more than anything. Because actually, yeah, the central push is going pretty well for Stahlbrecher because a lot of the focus, once again, has been up north. So even though he's losing a lot of territory in the northern side, he's doing a good counterattack down south to actually put in pressure, which is what you should be doing.
That is certainly true. Su-85 is falling back from a Sturmgruppe who... wow, everybody's falling back from that. Okay. That is a decision. But 14-10. Yeah, the weird thing about this, the Soviets have tons of territory. It's just the territory doesn't matter.
Yeah, because he's losing all his territory elsewhere, which isn't really ideal. And yeah, we got the 15-9 here, so the +2. That's going to get pretty deadly. Because even just up north, it's that one after Machikis, just a few after Machikis spread out is going to take time for Stahlbrecher to, route out his positions. And that's just going to give DTM, DTM time to set up. But at the same time, he needs to start clearing out the center. He needs to start making aggressive postures over here.
But that's kind of what I mean, is that DTM is the one that has to take territory. And it's the territory that matters. Stahlbrecher doesn't care, man. He just kind of sits back on his laurels and says, you know what, it's sea phase. You have fun, Skippy. And I have to say, I'm surprised. The way that this started out, I did not think that GrossDeutschland was going to be sitting in a position with any kind of... How do I say this politely? I thought they were screwed.
Same. Like losing down south early on and not making any effective central pushes. I believe all the Panthers are pretty much dead now, but you don't really need the Panthers. You just need the Stugs to do most of the work. And the Sturmgruppers. The Sturmgruppers have been Sturm and Array, grouping those flags together.
But the same issue still holds. Now as the Soviets, what do you do to push this back? And right now, at the current income, you can't lean on AFVs. And let's be fair, your infantry is all short range.
His real best bet is to try to push from the center, whereas SU-85 hill is, and just try to push back into the town. There's actually 4 flags, pretty close, 5 flags actually, pretty close to each other, which he can reasonably get under control. We really forgot just how flag intensive the central part of this map is. And Stahlbrecher is only holding this intensive part with 3 infantry squads.
Well,
That's his only real bet to get back in.
And by the same token, in the middle part of the map,
oh yeah,
there's one superior squad who's holding 4 flags by himself.
God, they're so greedy. None of these guys want to share.
Yeah, that's kind of the crazy thing, isn't it? Ooh, Sturmgruppe just went down courtesy of the PE2, so watch as the flags completely invert the other direction. 15-9. It was 16-8 one direction. Now it's 15-9, 16-8 the other direction. And just like that, folks, I hope you haven't turned away from this match, because this is one of those moments when you're like, yeah, this one's over, and then you skip the last 5 minutes, and you're waiting, wait a second.
Yeah. And up north, we got the Panther now doing the counterattack. This two's in a pretty good defensive position, but doesn't really have the actual penetration power to reliably deal with that Panther at long range.
Yeah, but I repeat the same thing that we've said before, is that doesn't need to.
No, they have some cheekies and just flank and pop an AT grenade in the engine.
Yep, unfortunately for them, the ultimate cheekies apparently are like, you know what, dude, unless you tell me specifically to go, I will not go.
Mm-hmm. Start going down to S-35. Damn, yeah, Stahlbrecher had a very good push going on here, and he's on the southern side, but in the end of the day, it truly just comes down to the center, baby.
Yes, it does. Both flanks really didn't matter that much. It can be 14. No, it's still 13-11. I keep waiting for that last little rinky-dink flag to kind of drop on in. There we go. There's a 14-10. Kind of amusing to me, though, too. It's like, yeah, you know what? A -1's not really going to kill your opponent right now, the time that's left. At that point, you got to probably be panicking a little bit and saying, you know what? Where do I pick up more territory? Where do I pick up more territory? For me, it's north. Yep. And the ultimate cheeky, unfortunately, waited way too long to make his move, and now this Panther's going to absolutely wreck him.
Yeah. If he can get a shot, no, he's moving. Yeah, he's trying to move out of the ultimate cheeky range, but it's going to get him closer to the enemy tanks, which is not ideal. I've done this maneuver many times in War Thunder, and it never really goes well for me.
How do you say suboptimal?
Yeah, it's pretty suboptimal.
Oh, now he's falling back. Question is, okay, I was going to say who's going to kill him first, the infantry or the vehicles, and we have our answer right there. And 15-9, though, again, it was going so well. So well.
Yeah, it just flopped.
But you got to, okay, you know what? You still got to, I guess you got to love those games where the tide's going one direction and then it washes back out and you're like, wait a second, I had a sandcastle that was right here. Where did I leave it?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're having that happen right about now. Stahlbrecher goes, dude, I had this.
Yeah, he did, and pretty close. Well, not close, but that almost standard like 1000-ish KD difference.
Well, here's the issue. The first 3 minutes of the game.
Whoa, yeah. Brutal.
And then around 13 minutes, and it's kind of the story of this, is that Stahlbrecher gets hammered and then claws it back, and then gets hammered again, and it's just that's just eventually takes too many shots to the head. Look at kills. One Zis. What's that?
Okay.
It's like a company's worth of vehicles by himself. Like,
good for him.
Exactly.
ISU.
This is, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Whoa.
There are some standouts here. There are some big standouts here, but when it comes right down to it, if you go to losses, some of those vehicles I think just weren't used in the best of ways. The Stu 42, again, I would have argued down south would have been perfect.
The grill, goddammit. Grilling, like, multiple Zisses.
Oh yeah, dude, he was barbecuing up a storm in the center. And Stug, Panther A. You know, we have some very, very committed troops. Unfortunately, to the end of the day, did not, you know, kind of coalesce in that, particularly effective position.
Yeah, like, fantastic back and forth from both players. Like, it was... even towards the end, they weren't really giving up.
Exactly. And you gotta love that kind of play. So, well done over here for DTM for not giving up, and better luck next time over here for Stahlbrecher. Like, dude, that was right there. You had it, but unfortunately, at the end, just kind of slipped away just in the last couple of minutes.
It's how it be sometimes.
It certainly is how it be. But it be for us right now time to say goodbye. So until next time, I'm Conolwork.
I'm Rangru, take it easy.